I met a college friend at a classmate's wedding a few years ago. He had a business and hit the jackpot. No, that friend must have grown up in a similar family to me, but he bought a house in Seoul. Oh, he didn't originally look like that, but he started working out and became really cool. We've all had this experience, right? Today, I'm going to talk about the commonalities of people who have made rapid growth and changes in a short period of time. Music. The first commonality: they're stubborn. What this means is that when someone appears completely different from before, they do something they wouldn't have done before. For example, someone who has only worked their whole life invests or takes on a challenge in business. That's when a drastic change occurs. People who see that say, "Wow, why did that person become like that?" The problem is that it would have been nice if these people had been successful from the beginning. But most of them didn't at first. What was it like at first? Of course, they didn't do well. When I first started YouTube, I bought a MacBook Pro. At the time, it was the most expensive at 2.7 million won. And when I first started YouTube, I started with rap. Then I needed a microphone, so I bought a microphone. I really respect my wife for supporting me in my nonsense at that time. In most cases, other people would have said, "Don't do that. Just do what you're doing." And if my friends had seen me, they would have said, "What useless thing are you doing?" Then, when I changed my direction to self-development and started YouTube, someone would have said, "Hey, do what you're doing well." This isn't just for me, right? If a real estate investor goes to the forestry field early in the morning, late at night, and on weekends to study, their friends might say, "Hey, real estate is over." A dragon doesn't come out of a dream. However, even if others say it won't work, if that person wants to get results, he or she has to be persistent. No matter how much others say it won't work, I have to believe that I can do it and be persistent. People who actually do well have that stubbornness. It's because they have confidence. People say, "You can't do that," but they studied and know that they can do well. That's why they become confident and stubborn. In order to succeed, you have to invest a certain amount of time and effort. And when you do, your perspective changes. This is the same for both investment and business. When you have put in some effort and have built up some inner strength, the advice of ordinary people seems meaningless. That's why I often say ask the right people. If you want to do well in real estate, you should ask people who are good at real estate. When I first bought my new home, I asked my mother, who had never left the same neighborhood in her life. But I wonder if that was the right real estate advice. That's why successful people have confidence, and people who don't understand the background of that confidence may see it as stubbornness. Chairman Kim Sung-ho says, "A CEO's stubbornness is good." Stubbornness is one of the essential characteristics for a businessman. If a businessman is not stubborn, it means that he has no special strengths. A businessman should not be narrow-minded, and he should find a corner of the market through his own philosophy and stubbornness. You can't be a nerd if you want to succeed. There's no such thing as overnight success. It takes a certain amount of time, and it's not easy. Even if everyone around you says it won't work, you need to be persistent in investing that time. If you found the right direction, and it seems like it'll really work, then you need to be persistent. Some people are exploring ways to get rich online. It's good to explore, but in many cases, these people try a lot of things and give up when they try one and say, "That's not it." In other words, they're not stubborn. People who don't stick to it can never make a difference. If you're stubborn about something and have convictions about it, that's a good sign. Of course, if you've invested more time in it than others, listened to expert advice, and are still stubborn, that's the secret of fast-growing people. The second secret of fast-growing people is that they become more volatile. When things are going well, they're incredibly elegant, but when things aren't going well, they fall down. It's not that successful people are fickle, but it's that people at the beginning of a change toward success are fickle. When you try something new, it basically doesn't work out well. Successful people overcome their fickleness and keep going. There's a saying that the fruit of success is not sweet but bitter. Success is never cool, and it comes at the price of hardship. As you move toward success, you will inevitably experience small successes and failures, and because the stress is great, your mood will fluctuate. Those who endure and don't give up, even though that time is hard, get good results. The third thing that people who grow in a short period of time have in common is that their time zone changes. Change and growth look great, but the process is never pretty. In order to make changes, you have to use the rest of your time, except for making a living. That's why self-made people usually use the early morning or late evening hours. When your time is full, your time zone naturally changes. The fourth thing that people who grow in a short period of time have in common is that they become impatient. As you invest more time and live more intensely, you naturally become stressed. In the tenfold rule, Grant Cardone says to set goals that are 10 times bigger than your goals, and to do twice as many actions as you think you need to achieve them. If you live like this, you will naturally become anxious. The last characteristic is that they are disconnected. People who change quickly are so focused on important things that they lose contact with you. They lose contact with their friends to the point where they say, "Hey, what's he doing these days?" People who quietly do their work to the point of losing contact with you are more likely to do well.